Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing, bringing you a general reading for the week of Monday, June 5th through Sunday, June 11th. First off, welcome everyone to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you will get something that will help with your journey. For those of you that are old timers that have been here for a while, thank you. I do appreciate you, your comments coming back every week. So thank you so much for that. Now, real quick, as far as, because this, is general reading for a large number of people, and the only way to get specifics, I know sometimes people have questions, and the only way to do that is with a private reading. I will be opening up for new clients in July, and it's not going to be until July because I'm actually taking some vacation in June. So you may notice a little bit of a lag on some of my comments because there are going to be a couple weekends that I'll be traveling this month. I'm actually going to be pre-recording your messages for the next few weeks. And the nice thing about that is when I pray and prepare over the cards, God, the angels, they'll just go ahead and give me the messages that you need at that point for that time frame. So energies are the same when preparing for that, but you'll find that I will be able to post your videos while I'm gone, but I will likely not be able to get back with you on your comments and such until I return. So just be patient with me, and for those of you that are also going to be traveling and enjoying this summertime, I do hope that you enjoy it and have fun, because like some of my vacations will also be going up through July 4th. So stay tuned. You're still going to be getting your readings. I'm not going to drop those on you guys, but just bear with me if there's a little bit of a delay on my responses to you. So let's see here. This week, we have a full moon on Friday, and it's going to be around 9:10 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Just Google to see what time that is in your time zone. Full moons are always really good for releasing things. So anything that you need to release, let go of, full moons are good for that. It's always, if you want to do a list of things that you want to release, any feelings, emotions, and then burn that, that's very powerful. If you have a relationship that ended and maybe you're still holding on, or maybe you didn't get closure with that relationship and you're not going to get closure, a good way to get closure is to write that person a letter. Put all your feelings out on that letter. I mean, you might end up with a 12-page letter, but that's okay because you are not going to send it to them. So be honest, put it all out there, the good, bad, and the ugly, and then pray. Ask that God, Jesus, angels help you release that, and then same thing, burn that, set that bad boy on fire. Do it safely, do it outside of your house, don't catch anything on fire, but that is very powerful. That will help you finally release them, which is also releasing yourself, so you can move forward, and you'll find that that's a pretty powerful process to do. Now, as far as this full moon, it is in Sagittarius. It's going to be a very intense time. Actually, this entire week is going to be very intense, especially the people that will really notice it. I mean, the general populace is going to notice, but especially Sagittarius and also Geminis, particularly Geminis that are, if you look at your charts, like 19 to 23 degrees. So for those of you, you're really going to feel it. But it's a very big week because we have, and I'm not an astrologist, but from the astrologists that I do follow, we have Jupiter that's changing direction. We have the Sagittarius full moon. We have 3 planets that are all changing signs. I think it's Venus, Mercury, Mars are changing signs. So when you have that much going on at one time, it's huge. So you're going to notice a huge shift in the energies and your perspectives. But the nice thing about this shift is it's actually going to start to finally move things forward, because many of us have been feeling stuck for a long time. So this is going to give the momentum to push us forward. It's a really good time because Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. So it is a time for change. If you boil it down, it's a time for change. This is the time that you need to risk it. You need to take a chance, because by doing that, you will be able to have something a lot better than what you have ever had before. And Sagittarius, they're all about the truth, really looking for deeper meaning in things. They're also very spiritual and deep. So what many of you will find is that you're going to have something revealed. It could be on the full moon, could be a couple days before or after the full moon, but there is going to be something that some light is going to be shed on it. So maybe some things that were previously hidden from you, kept secret, are going to be revealed. Things that you were not aware of will be revealed. And the reason it happens is because you need to have these things come to the surface in order to heal them so that you can move forward. You can get that something better that you want. You can't get something better if you're still holding on to the old. So that's why it's going to be coming to a head this week, particularly on this full moon for many, many of us. And you know, the truth is kind of like a double-edged sword. On the positive side of Sagittarius being all about the truth, it really is. It's all about honesty, integrity, being forthright, being transparent, having high principles, which leads to solid foundation in all areas of our life. The negative side of it can take a stance of, you know, my truth versus yours. You know, if we stand too firmly in our beliefs, we can become very critical of others, very judgmental of them. It can be their thoughts, it can be their opinions, it can be their way of life. So some of you will actually find that around this full moon, your beliefs are going to be challenged. So something that you always believed in, or something you always thought true, or something you always wanted, you're going to realize that things aren't really what they seem. So be ready to change your mind. And many of you, be ready to change your mind on something big, because these aren't small things, they're going to be very big things. But you are going to, the other thing with the truth being revealed, those of you that are going to have some things come to light this week, you may find out about some deception. And deception could be someone hiding things from you, lying to you, or it could be you lying to yourself and deceiving yourself. So maybe there's a relationship that you've been trying so hard to make work for months or years, where you're going to have something brought to light to show you, oh, well, I've been going the wrong direction the whole time. That person's not right for me. Maybe you'll find out that they deceived, lied to you, cheated on you. But it's going to be an aha, big moment of, oh man, that's not right for me. I need to change my path. I need to get back on track, because this is not it. And for some, it's going to be a big epiphany, a big revelation that really is going to have you totally change your mind, change your thoughts, change your beliefs, because it's a thing about power. So maybe you're so firmly rooted in, okay, I believe that person did me wrong. I believe that they were meaning to hurt me. They were, you know, looking out for themselves, hiding something from me. And you're going to find out that that's not true, that the truth is far from it. So just be prepared for that. Be ready for that. And particularly, there's going to be a lot tied to relationships with this energy, with this full moon. So it's a good thing. It's an opportunity for the truth to be told, because there are some things that need to come out. They have to come out. No matter how uncomfortable it is to share those things or to hear those things, they have to be said. It again all comes back to clinging to those things from the past, that you have to let those things go that aren't good for you, no matter how uncomfortable, but you have to see the truth in it to let those things go. But then you can heal and move forward. And that's when you get things that are better for you, that are the things that you actually deep down desire. But it is, for some, you are going to have to share the truth with yourself, with others. For some, you're going to have to hear the truth from someone or about something. It's really about being authentic to who you are and what it is, because to get the things that you desire and want, you have to be authentic. You can't continue to wear a false mask. So for some, you know, you've stayed in this miserable relationship for a very long time because you keep thinking, oh, it'll change, it's going to shift, it's just going to get better. But you have to see the truth that it's not, that they're not meant for you. You have to let them go so that you can heal and you can get someone that is meant for you, that is actually going to be way better than things ever were with that other person. But it is going through that process, which can be painful, of facing that truth, being authentic to what we are, who we are, what we want, knowing we deserve better. And really, in this time, Sagittarius full moon, it's a time to speak your truth. Overcome the fear that's tied to it, because when you're going to have to face those things or share those things, you know, it can be scary. We often will tend to back up from it, but don't back up from it. Overcome that fear, share your truth, and risk it, because you will find that it's totally worth it, and you have a lot of energies around this full moon that are going to help you with that. So hopefully that will help all of you. And for those of you that are sensitive to energy this week, hold on. Well, those of you that are sensitive to energy, period, hold on this week. Actually, hold on this whole month. It's actually going to be a pretty intense month, and I'll go into more details about that in some of the other readings. But those of you that were really feeling a lot of stuff around well, actually off and on since September last year, but April was one of our most recent really intense months. This is going to be even more intense. It's kind of like a big final push for many. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that like to know what cards we're using, today we're going to be using Sandra Ann Taylor's Energy Oracle cards. I've also prepared Doreen Virtue's Fairy Tarot cards, her Angel Answer cards. I have my Sibylla's ready. I do have my Gilded Lenormand within reach if we need those. Although if I pull those over, I'm going to have to pray and shuffle those because I have not prepared those. So let's go ahead and see what they want to cover this week. Okay, so let's move this. We're going to need more room. Okay. For those of you that are here for a general weekly reading, apologies. This is not going to be a general weekly. We will do a general weekly for the following week, which would be beginning on Monday, June 12th. This is going to be a twin flame specific reading, and they're saying this is truly twin flame only specific. This is not for twin souls. This is not for soulmates. This is only for twin flames. Okay. Now I was mentioning that we're going to be having some intense energies this month. Guess we'll start talking about that now while we lay out some cards. Right now is an intense time for twin flames, particularly Blu-rays, because Blu-ray twin flames are about to come into union, and some have started to. Okay. Some have started coming into union. Man, I hope we have room. But there is a big push. So with everything, you know, there's timelines. And I don't want to give out specific times because times shift. Like there was supposed to be a huge coming into union last fall, but there were some timeline shifts and some things that actually had to be prepared first. So now we're back on schedule, and Blu-ray twin flames are in their final preparations to come into union. And what's going to happen is we are coming up on a solstice, which is going to be on the 21st of June. Sorry, as I'm talking, I'm trying to hear how they want these cards laid out because they're throwing me for a loop. So we're going to be coming up this month. It's going to be very intense for everyone, particularly all twin flames, because there is a lot of healing and things that are happening. So we have this full moon, which is really a big push for everyone. And we are going to have the solstice on Wednesday, the 21st of June. And then we are going to be coming up on the new moon on the 23rd of June. Now, for everyone, it is going to be a big, powerful time of healing, but it's going to be particularly intense for Blu-ray twin flames. Now, if you are in a Blu-ray, which there's a smaller number of Blu-rays, and that's just because they're the first ones coming into union. And that's just because if you look at it, they're so I'm a Lumen Blu-ray rod and staff. Really, the only thing to look at that is they're just older souls. Think of them like the elderly ones that have been here a long time. So we all have a timeline and time frame. The plan is for all twin flames to come into union. So to settle any of your fears and worries right now, okay. This lifetime, this incarnation, because of what we are here to do, all twin flames are slated. The plan is for everyone to come into union. Now, when we get here, some things can shift. There are going to be a handful, a very small number that will not come into union because some things have shifted, but that's a very, very tiny, small number because of what we're here to do. You are slated to come into union. Now, when the time differs for everyone. It does change for everyone. But this big first wave is Blu-rays. So Blu-rays are being pushed, which is why they want to do this special reading for twin flames. So this reading is for all twin flames, but particularly for Blu-rays because there is some final work that has to be done. And that's why this month is going to be so intense to get you ready. And a lot of it has to do with healing the divine feminine. And I know I get questions sometimes from people about, why is it that the feminine has to do all this healing? But if you look at it over thousands of years, women have been oppressed. Women have been, they were supposed to be just, seen, not heard. They were supposed to be in the background. They were just there to procreate. Even if you look in the workforce, for years, if a woman is very strong and if she is confident, she's considered to be a bitch. But she can have a male peer who's just as competent and capable and strong and confident as she is, but he is looked at as though, oh, he's revered, he's a great leader. But we are breaking down these barriers. That is one of the big things that we're here to do as twins. We are busting through those barriers. We are healing those things. We are releasing those things. But it is because we are helping the feminine women step back into their power, reclaim their power, heal all the things that have happened over these thousands of years. That is why the feminine is taking the lead in this union. It's the work that has to be done between the two of them, but it's also collectively what has got to be done to heal that energy for women worldwide. And I'm going to say feminine and masculine through the whole reading. There are same-sex twin flames, but to keep things straight, it is a perfect balance. You can have a masculine and a feminine body. You can have a feminine and a masculine body, but this is talking twin flames. You have a feminine, you have a masculine. Whatever body they're in. But there's this huge collective healing that has been occurring for years. And there's been a lot of work that has been done, a lot of things accomplished. So you should be proud. So for those of you that are divine feminine that have been doing a lot of work, congratulations. There's a lot of success. You've actually been able to bring a lot of things about. A lot of you have been successful in healing things within your families, your ancestral lines. And you've even noticed that with your families. And even divine masculine, you have noticed things shifting and improving with your families because as you have been awakening, your family, those around you, energetically feel it. And even though you don't consciously recognize yet what's going on, it is healing them. It is healing your family. It is healing those around you. But it's healing this energy. And the big thing is, it's that feminine, that divine feminine healing. So what you're going to find is we are gearing up toward the solstice and the new moon, and we're going through this full moon. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's coming up to get healed, particularly if you are a Blu-ray. You're going to have these things come up and you're not going to have a choice. So there's going to be days you're going to be emotional, you're going to be crying. I encourage you to focus on your healing work. Actually, we're going to be talking about that in a minute, but that has got to be your focus. No joke, if you are, they're saying, if you are a Blu-ray, and you're going to know to save a bunch of questions because a lot of you are going to probably be wondering what ray you are. Indicators that you're a Blu-ray is your intuition will be fully opened. Although you may call readers or something for confirmation of something that you're getting, you may go see a sound healer every once in a while to balance out your energies. You're fully opened. You're fully getting your messages. You are fully doing your spiritual mission, and you're not really concerned with what's going on with the masculine any longer. Even if he's dating other women, even if he's still married to someone else, even if he's totally cut you off and hasn't communicated with you, it doesn't bother you any longer. You love him. You stay in a state of love, a state of being open trusting and knowing, okay, well, when he's done with his lessons and he's done with his healing, he's going to come to me then. And I'll be open when he comes, but giving him that space to work through what he needs and not thinking that it's something wrong with you and not being upset, not being angry, truly having let it go and not letting it go from a state of anger, but letting it go from a state of love. Like, I don't have to worry about this because this is going to take care of itself. I just need to worry about me. And fully stepping in 100% your mission. So many of you have changed jobs, you have started a spiritual practice, you have stepped completely out of your norm to do something completely new that you never intended, that was spiritually, divinely guided and led. Because we do have free will. A lot of people sometimes ask questions about twin flames. You know, we have free will. What if he's decided he doesn't want to get together? What if he's, you know, changed his path? We do have free will. That is a gift here on earth. However, the caveat when it comes to twin flames, you don't in some areas have as much free will as you think that you have. So before we incarnated, we plan to have this mission, and this is a huge mission. You are going to get this love of a lifetime, but that is not why you are here. You are here to help humanity. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But because of what you are here to do, you made a lot of decisions before you incarnated. You have a lot of backing. You have all these angels. You have God. You have Jesus. You have this backing pushing you to accomplish what you are here to do. And that's why over a number of months, and for some of you for years, you have felt as though things are totally outside of your control. You know, you've had these spiritual gifts awaken, and suddenly you're being propelled into doing spiritual work that you never had any interest in doing. You didn't plan to do, you didn't want to do. Take, for example, you know, I've been in the military for 20 years. I did a coming out of the spiritual closet video that I had shared, and a couple of the guys at work had come up to me. One of them's like, you know, why did you do that? Aren't you worried what people are going to think? That's like career suicide. That's like, you know, why would you do that? And I let them know, because I don't care. I'm not here to serve and help you. I'm here to serve God. And God has opened these things up in me. I didn't plan for this. I didn't ask for this, but this is what God has done. So I am going to faithfully follow and do what I'm being guided to do. Because in the end, I don't answer to you. I answer to God. And it's good that I did that video, because I can't tell you how many hundreds of people in the military have now come up and said, oh, I need a reading. Oh, I need a healing session. So even that is a blessing, because it's come about to help people's lives. But in the beginning, I was terrified. That is not what I wanted. That was not my plan. But when I was going through that change, I didn't have a choice. There was no choice. And for most of you, that has been the case, both masculine and feminine side. Masculine are really going through it right now. But feminine, you've been there. They have taken your money away. The divine has taken your money away and made it so that you have to sit at home. You have to learn. You have to grow. You have to develop. You have to go through that awakening process. You become sensitive to chemicals and things because you have to change your diet. It's all part of your ascension process that you're going through. All totally out of your control. There's no free will involved in that. And when your free will does come in play, so maybe you choose, okay, I'm not going to eat that healthy diet. I'm going to continue to eat a lot of processed sugary food. Well, you may not be able to lose weight. You may start having a bunch of allergic reactions. You may be sick to your stomach all the time. You may go and have 3 or 4 glasses of wine with your friends, which you used to be able to do, and you'll get rash all over your entire body. There's no free will involved in that. You are being divinely pushed and guided to give those things up, to stop those things. Or even when it comes to relationships, maybe you keep jumping into relationships with people, and every time it's a miserable train wreck. Every time. That's because you're being pushed to your twin. So until you go in the direction that you're headed to go, all these other things are going to keep falling apart. Because the free will part, when it comes to twin flames, you can keep choosing repeatedly the wrong person. You can keep choosing repeatedly to not do your spiritual growth, your spiritual work, your healing. You can choose to not pursue that divine mission that you're here to do. But the harder you push against it, the more the divine is going to push you down into it. And that's why we will often hit that time of the dark night of the soul, because everything will come crashing around us. That's when we will just finally drop to our knees like, why, God, are you doing this to me? why. But that is when we finally look up and we start to do those things. That's when we finally have ahas, we have epiphanies. We have no choice at that point to start doing what we're being guided to do. We keep having people break up with us. We keep having reactions. We have no money to go do things, no money to go have fun with friends. We are being forced to get onto our path. But when we do that, that's when things shift and become magical. So big congratulations and a lot of admiration for what you have been going through, they're saying. You have an entire team on the other side cheering you on. Don't give up. Hang in there. They know it's been very hard. They know it's been very long. And for those of you that are not Blu-rays, don't be discouraged. You're going to come together. It's just there is divine timing at play. And the pieces of the puzzle will fall into place when the pieces are meant to fall into place. You'll have the pieces fall into place when the time is right. Which, when you think about it, actually makes things pretty easy on you. Just do the things that you're being guided to do at the time that you're being guided to do it. Stay in the current moment, and everything will transpire as it's meant to, when it's meant to. Now, let me make sure you guys can see this. Oh, wow. That's good. Okay, so they're saying don't worry about you, because it's going to be some of the messages, because some of you are still very worried about your union. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have the Divine Feminine over here. We have a lot of cards. And we have the Masculine over here. We have the current energy, the feelings toward the Divine Masculine, current challenges, outcome desired, and what needs to be done. So right off the bat for the Feminine up here, we have the card 21, strategy. And this really is all about, you know, making a plan, actually putting things together, writing things down. There's actually that ink quill sitting there. It's being, you know, very specific in what our plan is, very specific in what our next steps are. Really putting that action plan together to meet our goals, to be able to take control of things, to be able to steer the ship forward. Now, the other two cards we have, the first one we have is the Prince of Autumn. Now, in this deck, the Autumn cards are coins. So they're all about earth. Earth, grounded, materialistic things. And hopefully you can see that with no glare. It's the Prince of Autumn, dependable, protective. No, I can't see it because of glare. Humorous, cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, kindness to others. The Prince of Autumn is all about, same thing, devising a plan, putting a plan together, thinking thoroughly thinking through the plan, like a plan A and a plan B if that doesn't work out, and then a plan C if that doesn't work out. But he's trustworthy, he can be counted on, he can be relied on, he can get you through the storm. But he's slow. So he may have the plan. He may have 18 alternate plans. But it's slow. It takes time. It doesn't immediately come together. So for some of you, you're currently in a state of frustration, the Divine Feminine, because you have been planning to come into union with your beloved, and it seems to not be working. It seems to not be coming together. And you've tried plan B, and you've tried plan C, and you've tried plan D, and it's still not working. And you're starting to get frustrated, but they're saying to worry not. It will come together. It is just going to take time. It is a process. And again, there is divine timing at play. There are things occurring and going on that you are not aware of. But trust. Said earlier, all twin flames, except for a very, very tiny number, are slated and will come into union. Now, when? Between now, okay, we are still on the timeline they're saying by the end of 2019 to have us in union. When your particular timeline is, not sure, but look at it as a positive. With Blu-rays coming into union, everyone else is going to fall like dominoes after that, based off of when they are meant to. So don't let the time frustrate you, discourage you, and get you off your path. Now the next card you have is Ace of Summer, and at the bottom it says, open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. And it's a beautiful card. You see how she has her arms spread open, there's the lotus flowers and the lily pads and a dove standing beside her. This card is all about, you know, a relationship that is very rewarding, that is very joyful, that is very blissful, that is filled with love. It's also, it talks about, you know, taking a relationship to a whole new level of intimacy, a new phase, achieving the emotional fulfillment that we've been desiring in love. But that in order to do so, you have to open your heart. You see how, again, she's got her arms outstretched? You know, believing in yourself, knowing that you're worthy of love. And it says it also does talk about, you know, psychic abilities, your intuition, that knowing that those spiritual gifts that you have, that you are here to use. So, the law of divine feminine, you're ready for this love. You're ready to embrace it. You've got your arms wide open. You've extended the olive branch with your dove. You know that this is divine love. You know he is your other half. You know it's meant to be. You're ready for it. But you're not fully ready for it, which is why it's not come into fruition yet. And we're going to go over some more details about that down here, because there are some things that they're saying. There's healing that still needs to occur. And we're going to talk more about the specific types of the healing when we get down here to what they're recommending be done. And we all have healing. And even when we heal the big blocks, there's always going to be minor things that need healed. You know, earlier when I mentioned, you know, Blu-rays, how you know you're Blu-ray because you're fully opened, but you may still go and get some sound healing. I go get sound healing about once a month because it balances out my energies. So since I'm constantly doing with the healing work that I do and the readings and working, burning the candle at both ends, which thankfully I've been able to come into balance. That was one of my big things, had to come into balance, and many of you have had to do the same thing, because once you jump in your mission, you're going 90 miles an hour. But with working full time, with doing my spiritual practice, healing work, energy work, readings, it's remarkable. I'm very thankful that God is using me this way, and that I can be of service that way. But it's a lot, and you have to, especially when it's essentially coming from a masculine energy. I'm constantly pulling my masculine energy. I'm making things happen. I'm taking action. I have to go get my energies balanced. So I go and get a sound healing session. I may do a half hour, I may do 45 minutes, but I leave with my energies balanced again, so I can come out feeling refreshed. But they're saying you're ready, but what you're not seeing is that you're not ready yet. That's why it's not come into fruition yet. Yes, there are things that are happening that you're unaware of at this time. But although you're being discouraged because your plan F has failed and now you're moving to plan G and you're about to just throw in the towel and give up because you're like, I'm ready, I keep trying these things, it's not working. Don't be discouraged and upset. There are still some things that you have to do. Now, as far as your feelings toward the divine masculine, you have 10 of spring. I can't tell if you guys can see that or not. At the bottom it says, ask for help from others, all work and no play, being weighed down by too many responsibilities. And if you see her, she just kind of like looks beat down. Her dress is all tattered. She's kind of like looking at that fairy in a cynical fashion. So this is really about all work, no play, not having any fun. You're having your life's completely out of balance. You're doing too much. You're not taking care of yourself. It talks about, you know, really having this heavy burden. And for the feminine, it's interesting because it's actually the only wands, because this is wands in traditional tarot. It's the only, and wands are fire, so fire signs. And then you have all this emotion, because summer, it's cups, that's emotion. You've got all these emotion cards. But then you have that, which you masculine and feminine are mirrors of each other. They are the perfect balance. They are each other's other half. But even to look at these is beautiful because you balance each other out. He has all these fire wand cards, action, doing things, getting things done, brings you into balance. But the beauty about twin flames, you are forced to embark on this healing that brings your masculine and your feminine energies internally to a state of balance. So a divine masculine that doesn't want to feel his emotions, doesn't want to open up, doesn't want to have connection, doesn't want to open up spiritually and intuitively, there will come dark night of the soul, many of them that's actually occurring, where they have to embark on that healing to open themselves up, start feeling those emotions, come out of a state of all fire and wands and doing things into a state of, yes, fire doing things, but also opening up emotionally, intuitively. Same thing for the divine feminine. She's in this state of love and emotions all the time, but what will happen is she'll go through all of her healing, which you're doing. They're commending you on that. But then you'll embark on your spiritual work that you're supposed to do. And for some of you, it's a lot of work to start your own business. It's a lot of work to change careers. It's a lot of work to have to move for your work that you're doing. It's a lot of doing. It's a lot of fire. It's a lot of wands. But that will balance you out. When twin flames are fully balanced out, that's when they come into union. They can't come into union until they're both balanced out. Now, this is about your feelings toward the divine masculine. And some of you are feeling as though you are doing all the work and he's not doing anything. Because divine feminine, you know that when you do your healing, it heals him as well because you have the same core wounds. It's interesting because when I have many twin flame clients that I do healing sessions on, and it typically takes 3 to 4 healing sessions for a twin flame. Typically, the first 1 to 2 sessions will be things that divine feminine has. Now, I've started having some divine masculine, which is cool, but up to this point, it's mostly been the divine feminine. So typically, 1 to 2 sessions are things that she has experienced in this life or past lives that need to be healed and released, that are individual. Then when it comes to that last 1 or 2 sessions, those are lifetimes that they have experienced together. And in those lifetimes, they have had experiences that have made them push each other away. Maybe he saw her get raped, or maybe he went to war and he was killed in war and did not come home. So it left them both, it left her feeling like, okay, if I come into union with him again, I'm going to be left alone. It's not going to work out. Not feeling loved, not feeling worthy. Does the same thing for him from his perspective. Although, again, it's a masculine. That's the beauty. Totally balance each other. Perfect complements of each other from different angles, but perfect complements. His angle is, okay, I can't take care of her, I can't protect her, I can't provide for her. So he pushes her away. At the bottom core, it causes not feeling worthy of love, but it causes the two to energetically push each other away. So physically, in this lifetime, you know, he won't understand, why am I constantly being drawn to her? Why can't I move on with someone else? Why is she constantly popping up my thoughts? And she'll be thinking, okay, why no matter what I try, no matter what plan I take and do the action on, we can't come together. It's because there are these underlying experiences that you have shared in past lifetimes that have to be healed and released, because you'll just continue to push each other away. And typically that, well, with all my twin flame clients, when we get to that last healing session and that last lifetime that is shared between the two, Jesus comes in and he does it's a marriage. It's kind of like a vow renewal ceremony that he does. And then depending upon what that twin flame union's mission is, he may do a divine crowning for the masculine. So for all the Blu-rays, he does the crowning. Well, not all of them. Okay. So for most, but it depends on, to not put titles on the different types of twin flames, it depends on what their mission is. For some that have a specific mission, he will do a divine crowning after that renewal vows ceremony with the masculine. But then they're ready. Yes, there's still some other healing things they have to do, but they're ready. But what has happened is a lot of the divine feminine, you're feeling like, okay, I'm doing all this work. He's benefiting from it. But he's not coming my direction. I'm feeling unappreciated. I'm working, I'm trying to make all these changes, and I don't see him doing anything. I'm not seeing anything on his end. And it's caused a wedge. For some, it's caused a wedge. And it's interesting because they're both mirrors of each other. He has something on his perspective, his end, that has caused a wedge as well. And also energetically, when we are in a state of optimism and happiness and joy, you will find that the two of you will come into some type of connection. You may get an email, you may text message, you may see each other. When you drop back down into that state of being overwhelmed, out of balance, you'll go separate directions. You energetically push each other away. So right now, you're at a state of having pushed each other away from both perspectives. Now, the current challenge that the Divine Feminine is facing is the Seven of Summer. And at the bottom, it says, no more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. Now, this card has actually come up recently in a couple of our weeklies. And this is all about really sit down, make a decision to stop overanalyzing, stop overthinking, stop procrastinating, stop putting things off that you should be doing. And for a lot of the Divine Feminine, the challenge is, because the card can also talk about you're spending too much time daydreaming. And daydreaming is great to, do visualizations, think of how you'd like things to turn out, what you want to have happen. It can sometimes also, you may get epiphanies and ahas at that moment. But sometimes we can just stay in that state and we don't make decisions. We don't take action. And typically when that happens, it's really because deep down, there's something that we are avoiding, something that we don't want to do. So we're avoiding taking that action. Okay. So, they were talking the current energy that the feminine has right now, strategy, making a plan, putting something together. That's your challenge. The reason it's your challenge is although you have a plan financially, materially, and some you have had plans to try and come into union, your plan needs revised. So for some of you, see how he has this light illuminated at the tip of his finger? And there's this rainbow that comes out of there. Some of you are so focused, your eyes on that prize. Your eyes on your masculine, your beloved. And you are so focused on him and coming into union that your challenge is stepping away, letting go, putting together your plan of how are you going to open up. How are you really truly going to do that healing so that you are open, you are ready to receive him? Because you want that. I mean, this card is your card of the outcome that you desire. And you have Three of Summer, and it's beautiful. At the bottom, it says news worth celebrating, announcements such as weddings, graduations, or birth, friends that you cherish. This is all about joyful news, celebrations, being grateful for what heaven has blessed you with, the gifts that you've received. It also talks about upcoming wedding, becoming pregnant, starting a family. It's a beautiful card. For some of you, you see how they're scantily clad, they're frolicking in the river in their swimsuits. So for some of you, you want to have that intimate connection again with your twin. You also want to be able to, it's bury yourself intimate connection, burying yourself physically, but you also want to bury yourself emotionally. You want to expose and share yourself with your masculine. You want to have that deep connection, that transparent connection, because there have been a lot of things that have not been said. And you want those things to be shared. See how they're like splashing the water? So it has been, for many, a very emotionally turbulent time. Rocky waters, difficult. You want the, which is funny because this full moon is all about truth. You want the truth exposed. You want the truth. You want to share the truth. And you want to move forward into a state of celebration with your twin. That's what you desire. But to get there, there's still some work that has to be done. The two cards that you have for to do. The first one you have is Queen of Summer, and it says loving, comforting, emotional, intuitive. Listen to your heart. Intuitive insights you can trust. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. And this card is, you see how serene she is, how calm she is? It's really talking about how, you know, if the Queen of Summer's with you, you will feel her calming presence. She will just wrap that around you, and she radiates love and peace and calm and tranquility. She's also very intuitive. You have all these little fireflies and fairies around her. So she's extremely intuitive. So she will understand your heart better than you do, which is why she's a good counselor. She can assist you. She's also very tender-hearted, very loving, very charitable, very giving to others. But the flip side of that is she can sometimes give too much, which can make her exhausted. It can wear her down. It can sometimes make her feel as though she's being taken for granted. It can make her cautious when moving into other relationships, be it romantic, business relationships, friendships, because she hasn't received in the same manner that she has been giving. And she could have experienced loss in giving to someone who wasn't giving in return, which has made her wiser. It's made her a little more discerning, but it's made her close up. So for some of you, you have been giving and giving and giving to your divine masculine. Everything that you can. You reach out to him. You send him messages. You do kind things for him. You invite him to go do something. And for some of you, time and time again, you see that he is just giving to someone else. And he has given to someone else repeatedly. And see how she's kind of like got her hand on her hip, almost in kind of like a bit of an attitude stance, looking toward him. So some of you are just at the point of totally being exhausted. Like, you know, I can't do this anymore. I cannot keep giving to him. And it's energetically, it needs to be healed. Because even though you want to come into union, you're ready for that, you think you're open, ready for it, but because this has been a very long journey, it's been painful. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But you are all very, very powerful. You're very powerful. You've got this. You wouldn't have been chosen to come and do this if you couldn't handle it. So you are the ultimate badasses. You really are. You are on Archangel Michael's team of warriors. You are a bunch of warriors of light. You can handle this, but you're really just kind of worn out. You're tired. You're tired of not feeling appreciated. You're tired of not having balance in giving and receiving. You're just worn out. But you do have to do some healing to remove those blocks, because that is putting up a block. Again, for some of you, you're feeling like, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing all this work. He's not doing anything. I do kind things for him. I show him that I love him, and he just ignores me. He walks the other direction. He goes and dates other people. He goes in and, you know, goes to ex-wife or is proposing to someone else. That has put a wedge between the two of you. That does need to be healed. And for some, it could be a meditation. the main three that I would recommend, I love Cassidy Kane. She's got a variety of meditations that you can purchase on her webpage. She's remarkable. And also Twin Flame Healers. They have some great meditations. And for those of you that are Blu-rays, Twin Flames, this month is going to be so turbulent. You just hold on, because that's all you're going to be able to do. You will find that a lot of you, your schedules have already kind of cleared. The reason that is because you've got work to do this month, and you are going to be forced to do that work. So it was funny, because a couple weeks ago they started giving me some of this information about this month and what's going to occur. And it was funny because I looked at my calendar, because I've had to clear about 3 weeks off my calendar between now and just past July 4th for my vacations and things that I'm going on with family and friends and such. But I was looking at it and I'm like, well, that's interesting, because there's this final work, this final push. And my calendar outside of working full-time, other than that's fairly open. That was divinely guided. I had no clue till a couple weeks ago that they did that on purpose, so that I would have the space to do the work that I need to do. So for those of you that are Blu-ray, Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, because I have had questions recently about the YouTube videos about, this is because there have been a lot of messages for masculine lately, but Blu-ray Divine Masculine Twin Flames, they're awakened. They know what's going on. They do know what the connection is. Many of them are actually watching these videos now. That's why there's been a lot of masculine messages. At this point, it's just been the Blu-ray masculine that I've been watching that are fully awakened. The others will get there. But because this is a pivotal time for Blu-rays, the Blu-ray masculine, they're awake. They've been awake for a while. They're constantly hearing the feminine thoughts. They know what's going on. They know that they're twin flames. They've been trying to figure it out for a very long time. That's why they've been getting a lot of messages. They need the messages too, because this is a pivotal month for Blu-rays. And you won't have any choice this month but to sit down and do your work. Now, for everyone else, it's also going to be intense. Definitely use these energies. Definitely use it to get your work done. But Blu-rays are not going to have a choice this month. And it's funny, because if you look at your calendars, you'll find that you have a lot of downtime. You'll find that maybe you have plans with friends, and those plans keep getting canceled, and then they get canceled, and they get canceled. That's because the angels are saying, sit down, do your healing. So what I would recommend is, because Blu-rays, you're already opened up and awakened. Just ask the angels, what meditation should I do? Cassidy Kane has a lot of remarkable ones. Twin Flame Healers, they have a lot of great ones. I highly recommend their Twin Flame Goddess one. It's like 5 different sessions in it, and each session's almost 2 hours. But that is powerful with healing feminine stuff that needs to be healed. All those feminine energies, not just for you, but for your parents, for your twins' parents, for your ancestral line, for your twins' ancestral line. It will totally clear and remove these things that you don't even realize are there. All you know is, I've got all these plans, I'm ready to come together with them, but dang it, why is it not working? Because you still have stuff you have to clear. So if you're Blu-ray, ask your angels to guide you what to do. But I would recommend do that Divine Feminine, because this month is huge for finally releasing those last bits of things on the feminine side that need to be healed. That will also open up the two of you. And also, Patricia McNeely has some meditations that will be good for some of you. And all 3 of them, they're all Blu-ray, run staff. They're great. They're remarkable. You can count on what they're giving you, because it will help you. It will help you with your journey. It will help you do your healing. Just ask, go with what you're guided to do, but do that. And if you're Blu-ray, you have got to do that. And this, I know I didn't give a time frame, but they're saying that this goes through almost the end of the month. So this is going to go through the solstice, it's going to go through the new moon, it's going to go just a few days past the new moon. So it's going to get you down to the very end of June. So if you're Blu-ray, focus on that this month. And all twins, focus on your healing. But it's imperative for the Blu-rays this month. They're saying it's go time. It's go time. And that's why you're going to find that your calendar is either already cleared or it's going to be cleared. So when you have your friends start canceling plans on you, don't be discouraged. There's a reason. You're being given the time that you need to focus on you for this final push. Now, the other card, as far as what you need to do, is you have a major arcana. It's the only major that you have. It's the Emperor. And at the bottom it says, you use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organized, a firm but compassionate leader. And the Emperor, he's very solid. He's grounded. He knows that in order to bring any dream to fruition, there has to be, passion to grow it. There has to be a lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy, putting things together in order to fulfill that life purpose, in order to accomplish those dreams and goals, to get what we desire. And although we can sometimes really get excited, when we have potential new career, we've got this love coming in, we can get really overwhelmed with excitement about that, but then we can forget all the details of but what do I have to do to make this happen? So in order to save time, be like the Emperor. Have that excitement and joy in your belly, but kind of put that off to the side while you develop a strategy, develop a plan, start taking action, do those things. Get the advice, get the counseling, get the healing. And you see, if you look at this card, it's interesting because he has the heart here, and it's all about love, compassion, unconditional love. And for the Emperor doesn't become at the top of the echelon by just going around with brute force. He is compassionate, he is loving, he is caring. He comes from a state of being in his heart space. You also see the staff. At the very top, there's the world. He has the world in his hands. And when he's trying to make decisions that are impacting the world, that are impacting hundreds, thousands of people, he's using his heart. And if you also look, he's beneath this rose-shaped window. I don't know if you can see that above his head or not. But that window it symbolizes Christ's disciples, his 12 disciples. And that's all about, the Emperor can't do it alone. It takes a team. It really, truly takes a team. Okay. So while we're talking about Jesus and the disciples and the team, a lot of my clients who've become my friends and such that are twin flames will ask me or tell me that, regardless of their religious upbringing, they could be Buddhist, they could be Muslim, Islam, Christians, atheist, whatever their religious upbringing background is, they will tell me how much they love Jesus. They have an affinity for Jesus, and they've not understood why. The reason for that is Jesus is the Savior for the whole world. If you look at the main three religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, Jesus is in all those spiritual, theological texts. Now, Jews don't recognize him as their Savior. They do recognize him as a healer, or someone that came with unconditional love, who's a very important person. In Islam and Christianity, they both see him as their Savior, and he's in both theological texts in the Bible as such. Now, interesting thing is two interesting things. So if you ever watch near-death experiences, you will find, now there are a couple of them, they're entertaining if you watch them, because there's a couple where you can tell that they're reading a script, and there's one I saw a few years ago where this guy kind of rolls his eyes because he's reading his story of his near-death experience, and apparently he didn't like what he was reading about his story, and he kind of rolled his eyes on the camera. But you'll be able to discern and tell who's actually truly sharing the story. Typically they're very emotional, and who's not. But when you watch near-death experiences, you read about near-death experience, it doesn't matter what that person's upbringing was religiously. It doesn't matter what their religion was. If they see God, if they meet a God, they always meet Jesus. They always meet Jesus. Every time. There is a reason for that. Jesus is truly the Savior of the world. You know, when he was here, there was no such thing as Christianity. He was born a Jew. He actually studied Islam. He went and studied with the Buddhists. He went all around, learned. He was actually an Essene. If you do some research, he actually lived with the Essenes. Now, the second interesting part is twin flames. We're here in the beginning. Some were here in the middle when Jesus was here. And we're back now at the end. So all twin flames at the very beginning, like if you look at the Bible, time of Genesis, the very beginning, we were here in those early times. That's why we come with these spiritual gifts, these things that we have that are just awakened. Because as you've gone through this process, particularly Divine Feminine, you just have things open up. You're like, I don't know why all of a sudden my intuition's strong. I don't know why all of a sudden I have these healing gifts. It's because your soul's remembering, because you were here when the earth first began, early on. And then most twin flames, one of the two, could be the masculine, could be the feminine, was here with Jesus when he walked on earth. He could have been a disciple, could have been a follower, could have been a family member, but for many twin flames, and they're saying all Blu-rays. Okay, so all Blu-ray twin flames and many of the other twin flames, one of the two was here with Jesus when he walked on earth. And we are all now back at the end. Not to incite any fear. Heaven knows we've got enough fear. This is not to have fear. Twin flames, you're very powerful. You're very connected. So you can get confirmation that everything's going to be okay. But the reason that we're here, we are actually here to help save the world. We are actually currently in the time of Revelations, if you read the Bible. Now, I'm a Christian. I know things have been left out of the Bible. I know some things have been changed. Anyone, you know, Jesus always said that you have to seek. You don't believe just what people will tell you, because that you can be deceived. He taught love. He taught compassion. And you can discern which you're not. But in the Bible, there is Revelations, and that is the time that we are in right now. In September, if you Google hearing trumpets in the sky, and I'm sorry this is going to be a long video, but they have a lot of information for you guys, and that's why they're taking this week to give you guys this message. So, because it's a big deal for all of us that are twin flames, this is huge. Back in September, I was hearing trumpet noises, and if you Google, if you go to Google and you type, you know, hearing trumpets in the sky, there's a bunch of videos out there where people were recording these trumpet noises that they were hearing. Now, I was hearing those noises for about 3 weeks, off and on. But then there was one night in September where I literally, you know, and I'm in the military. I hear taps played when I go to services. I know what a trumpet sounds like. Like, the trumpets that you're going to hear on YouTube sound different than what I heard outside my bedroom window. But I'm laying in my bedroom, getting ready to go to sleep, and it was as though someone was literally standing outside of my bedroom window, playing a trumpet obnoxiously loud. And they started giving me some information about preparation for the end times, because we were in Revelations. And then it was a number of days later, and I was unloading some things out front. I think I was working on some landscaping because I had my car pulled up out front and unloading some things, and all of a sudden I heard this horse. You know when a horse goes, I heard that above my ear, and I felt the air, like a horse blowing on my ear and my neck, and I jumped because it startled me. It really freaked me out. And I heard Jesus tell me, you know, calm down, don't worry, child, it's just me. But the time has come to prepare. You have to prepare. And then he started giving me some more information that they had been giving me. And those of you that are out there, I know many of you, because having amazing relationships, I love all my twin flame clients, friends that are out there having the conversations. You've been getting a lot of similar messages. And Jesus and the angels were telling me that it's time to prepare. So it's time to stockpile food. Because at some point in the future, we are not going to be able to access money for a bit of a time. And we're going to need food. For some, you may need food for only a month or a couple weeks. For some, you may need food for 6 months. But you need to ask your team for guidance on what you need to do to prepare. And they're saying many of you have actually been getting a lot of those signs to prepare. You have not been preparing. You need to do that. You need to do that today. Have cash on hand, have food, have water to provide for you and your family. But the beautiful side of that is, we were here in the beginning, we were here with Jesus. We are now back at the end. The reason that we are now back here at the end, we are here to help save the world. We are here to help heal humanity, to keep the extreme things that have been foretold, not just in the Bible, but in a lot of biblical texts. And a lot of psychics, intuitives, and people have seen the end in these things occurring. But we are here. We have been blessed. God is working through us, bringing this power. That is why we are so connected. That is why we get signs. That is why we get messages. That's why we have these healing gifts opened up in us. We are here to help heal humanity. We are here to bring back that love, bring back that compassion. That's why we're seeing so many dark things happen right now. Because when you shine a lot of light, a lot of love, and you are all a bunch of light and love, when you bring that in, the dark can't be around it. So the dark things will come to the surface. That's why we're seeing all these acts of terrorism, these things going on that just make you wonder what has happened to humanity. But we are here to shift it. We are here to help. We are here to bring back love. That is what we are here to do. That is what you are here to do. So you need to, what they are recommending, Divine Feminine, is you have to take your focus, shift it from all this emotion of wondering, when's he going to call me? When's he going to see me? When's he going to break up with her? When is he going to get over her? When is he going to divorce her? When am I going to hear from him? You have to take your perspective, shift all that focus you have on him onto you and your mission. You have to do your healing, because in order to fully open yourself up and have those gifts fully opened. So for some of you, because we are all on different timelines, some of you are a little earlier on in the process. Your gifts aren't fully opened up. Some of you are still a little frustrated by that, but that's just a sign that there's still healing you have to do. There's still some heart healing you have to complete. So do that. Because they're saying many are spending so much time watching YouTube videos and reading articles. And not that that's a bad thing, because very early on when you first find out about this connection, you have to do that. It's essential, because you're wondering what in the heck is going on. So that's an essential step of the process. What becomes a problem is when you stay stuck in that for months and months and months and months and months, or years for some, where you are so engrossed and you're on this twin flame chat and that twin flame chat and this Facebook group and that Facebook group, and you're watching videos all the time, you are not doing what you are here to do. You are not here to think about him all the time. You are here to help humanity. You are here to help save humanity from the destruction that they are bringing on full force onto us here right now. That's why you're here. That's why you are very powerful. That's why you have these gifts. You have to stop focusing on him, focus on your healing, come into your state of being that emperor, being here to use that love, shine your love to help heal people, help heal humanity, help heal them physically, help heal them emotionally, help guide them in their time of need. That's what it's about. Yes, it's this union, because when the two of you come together, it's even more powerful than you can ever imagine. Like right now, you have strong gifts, but when the two of you come together, because you both have similar gifts, the power, the things that you radiate, you will become a power couple. Helping humanity, bringing love back. You will get the love story of a lifetime, but you're not going to get it if you can't take your focus off him and off your emotions and start doing what you're here to do. Start putting together a plan, start doing your healing work, start doing your meditation. Get off the computer, start spending some alone time, some quiet time, start meditating, start asking questions, start listening to your signs, start taking action on those signs. Be focused, be determined, be fully on your mission. And part of that being fully on your mission, there you do have to heal your heart. You have to heal the blocks between the two of you. Then he will naturally come in your direction. But when you've fully healed your heart, you've healed the things between the two of you, and you are fully doing your mission, you'll find he'll just fall in your lap. Boom, you're going to get that gift and get those things that you want. But you're not going to get it by constantly worrying and fretting. When am I going to hear from him? When am I going to see him? Constantly looking online, searching, watching videos. And not that videos are bad, because we do need, obviously they're coming through with these messages. They do come through, some of us, with very important messages for twins. Yes. And you'll know, because when you're feeling guided, like, oh my gosh, I've got to check so-and-so's channel, or I've got to watch this. And watching a video, I mean, I sit at work sometimes if I'm doing something that doesn't take a lot of thought, I'll play videos, educational things in the background. We all do that. That's good. That helps us with our growth. It will, you know, make some things click. Like sometimes we might be getting signs and we'll listen to a video and we're like, oh, that's what they've been trying to tell me. So it's not that it's bad to watch videos. It's okay. It is bad when you're watching them all the time. When you are not taking time to meditate. When you are not taking time to take classes, to open up your spiritual awakening, to start focusing on changing jobs, moving, doing whatever it is, because we all have different missions. You know, some of us, you know, you may not be changing into a spiritual practice. You may just be changing companies and changing the way that you serve, because most twin flames are already in the capacity where they're serving and helping people. It may be at their job, or they may be like a community leader. Maybe they're the person that's always putting together events in their community. But that's at a core what all twins do. That's just what we do, because we're here to serve. We're here to love. We're here to help. But you're being guided to do that. You're being guided to take that in the next level. Many have not been doing that because you're so focused. See how she's just focused on him. Sunflowers are all about, and you've got sunflowers on his cards, they're all about purity, love, success. You are guaranteed love. You are guaranteed success. This is a pure divine connection. You are going to get that. So don't worry about it. Step into your power. Become the emperor. You know, earlier they were talking about balancing your energies. You've been in the emotion, you've been in the intuitive side. Step into that doing, step into putting the plan together, step into taking care of you. And also they're saying for some, you have to focus on healing your heart. You know, you got plan A, B, C, D, E. You keep doing things for your divine masculine. You keep reaching out. You keep doing things. Stop doing that. You have to stop doing that to balance the energies. It is really, truly setting healthy boundaries. Because if your heart is not healed, a lot of things hinge on that. Your gifts opening up, all these things going smoothly. You know, you'll have block after block after block if your gifts aren't opened up. If your heart healing is not done, if you're not ready, if you're not doing your mission. When you are healed and you're doing your things, everything just flows. It's so easy. Life is easy. But to get the things flowing like that, you have to do a lot of heart healing. And a piece of that heart healing is to set boundaries, healthy boundaries between you and your twin. And healthy boundaries are required for all relationships. The dynamic that's been happening with some is you keep giving to your masculine. He's not giving to you in return. Again, it's put a wedge up between the two of you. What that bottom line stems from is you, at a core level, still have some things to be healed that make you feel unworthy of love. So you keep giving to him because you feel, you know this is a divine connection. You know he is your other half. So you try to prove to him your worth, that you are worthy of his love. You're worthy of him coming in your direction. But when you heal your heart, because those activities, those things are done from a state of you don't feel worthy of love yet. If we are constantly doing and not receiving, but we keep doing that, we don't love ourselves enough. Because when you have healed that, you won't focus on him and you will stop giving to him all the time if you're not receiving. It's not out of anger. It's not out of spite. It's not out of trying to be mean or cruel. It's literally because you now know I'm worthy of better. And I'm not going to accept this any longer. I'm not going to accept this dream because I know I'm worthy of love. I know I'm worthy of great love. I know that this is a great love, but we're not both at that same level yet. But I'm not going to continue giving to someone who is not giving to me. Still staying in a state of love. So when he does come, you're still in a state of love. but truly letting go. And I've gotten a number of questions over the past couple months about letting go, and it's so hard. Yeah, letting go is hard, because when you have such a strong connection with someone, you love them. You know, you still think about them all the time. My twin, I pray for him every morning, every night, pops in my mind, but I don't sit and think about him constantly. I don't worry about when it's going to happen. I don't worry who he's seeing and who he's hanging out with. I don't worry about that, because I know that'll work out. But I also don't sit and think, oh, should I call him? Should I text him? Should I reach out to him? No, I'm not doing that anymore. Because I've stepped back into power. I know that I am worthy of love. I am worthy of this great love. I am worthy of amazing things. When he realizes that he's worthy of that and comes in my direction, it'll be great. But not going to worry about that until then. But it's because you love yourself. You value yourself. The neat thing that does energetically as well, because again, the Divine Feminine, you are taking the lead. Once you heal yourself and heal your heart, you put up some healthy boundaries of, okay, I'm just going to focus on me and my mission. I'm not going to accept just the tiny little bit of things that I get every once in a while from him. It's an all in or not. But knowing that you're worthy of an all in, it shifts things for him too. So for some of you, why does he keep dating other people? Why does he keep going back to someone that treats him poorly? Why doesn't, he come to me? Why doesn't he want to be with me? When you don't worry about that and you've healed your heart and you know that you're worthy of great love and you just start focusing on you. And for a small number of you, you have started dating. I'm not encouraging that. You'll know if you're able to date or not. Typically, most twins, they will not let you date because that creates more karma. We have actually, all twin flames, we have cleared our karma. But at this point, the karma that has been cleared through all of us collectively is done. So any karma that you create from this point on, you are going to have to clear yourself. So I would not recommend creating any more karma, because heaven knows we've had a big enough struggle getting to the point where we're at, clearing karma, things from the past, which karma is just wounds. Things that have hurt us, things that have us stuck, things that have us from loving ourselves. I would not encourage creating any more karma. But for some small number of twins, you will be able to date other people. And that just means that your timeline's a little bit longer. But you'll know, because you'll be guided to do what and we all have different journeys. And so you'll be guided to do what's meant to be for you. But for those of you that there's this third party, when you set healthy boundaries and you come into a state of loving yourself and you don't tolerate certain behaviors any longer because you know you are worthy of better, you know you're worthy of more, you've healed that. At a core soul level, that's healed that for him as well. So he may be constantly, dating, trolling around with other women, maybe keeps going back to an ex who really treats him bad and just uses him. But what you'll find is when you heal that for you, it heals it for him. Now he will start setting healthy boundaries. He will realize, oh, well, this karmic partner of mine, she just uses me for money, or she lies and cheats on me all the time, or, she really doesn't appreciate me. And he will set boundaries with that person. He will end those relationships. He will realize, oh, I thought that's what I wanted. I thought that was going to be good for me. I've tried so long and hard and years to make that work, but oh no, that is not good for me at all. I'm done. I'm cutting that off. Then he is free and able to come to you. You are in control. It's a good thing to heal yourself. It's a good thing to have boundaries, because when he then knows that he's worthy of that, he knows that he's worthy of something better than who he's been with, who he keeps returning to. He's like, no, this isn't good for me. This person is bad for me. But she's always loved me, and I always feel this connection. But it starts with you, feminine, and it does start with you doing your work. And I know many of you are sick of hearing that, but that really is what it boils down to. Doing your heart work, and it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but we all have to go through it. That's why we are a team here together. We are all 288,000 of us. We are a team. We are here to love each other, help each other, support each other through this. We are going to get through it. But all you need to do is just keep focusing on your steps, doing what you are here to do. Do not get off track, because you're going to do some beautiful things. You will come into union, but you've got to focus on you and your healing at this time. And that's what's going to free you. Okay, let's see if we can get this wrapped. Oh my goodness, wrapped up. Okay. And I'm not going to edit it and break it up into 2 videos, so you guys can watch it, and if you run out of time, you can just finish this, break it up into sections with your time. Okay, so Divine Masculine, current energy, we have Angel of Love and the 8 of Spring. So Angel of Love, this is really all about tender connections, loving connections. She's holding a rose quartz heart in her hand. She's radiating pink love, compassion, affection. It's a card that, you know, talks about longing for a deeper connection, an intimate connection, a more meaningful connection. It also talks about, you know, compassion for ourselves. Okay, so the other card we have is 8 of Spring. Hopefully you guys can see that. At the bottom it says stress that comes from having many things happening at once, stressful multitasking, sudden events or changes. And this card is, it's about a lot of things happening at one time. It is, you know, having a lot of what can be looked at as good, positive choices, having difficulty making a choice because it's a lot. And it can also be talking about a lot of things going on that are good things at once. Jobs changing, not always good. Okay, so a lot of things happening at once that requires action because it is Wands. It's talking about action. So changes going on at work, changes going on at home, changes going on with love, just being overwhelmed with multitasking, sudden events, rapid changes, just being like under rapid fire. So the Divine Masculine is at a state where he does want love. He does want a deeper connection with someone. You know, earlier we were talking about how when it comes to twin flames, that free will really isn't like it is for everyone else. So although he wants things, he feels as though things are out of his control. A lot of the Divine Masculine are going through their dark night of the soul right now. They're going through that awakening. They're going through those changes. They're losing friends. They're finding things that they used to believe in aren't the same anymore. Everything's being tipped upside down, topsy-turvy. You know, they've got these... So, you know, when you do your heart healing, your spiritual gifts open up. A lot of Divine Masculine have been undergoing heart healing that is opening their spiritual gifts. And most of the Divine Masculine hear the Divine Feminine. I know, ladies, they hear your thoughts a lot. You don't hear theirs typically unless you tap in, but they hear yours. And it starts very early on in the connection once you've been opened up. And it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then, you know, ultimately you guys will have telepathic communications all the time. But he hears your thoughts. And the interesting thing is, as he's been going through this healing, these spiritual gifts opening up, for some of you, your twin looked at you as though the masculine looked at the feminine as though that spiritual stuff was a little too woo-woo and out there. But now he has the very same things opening up on him. And it does turn everything upside down. It shifts everything. It changes everything. He is going through a major shift and change right now. And for some, he is trying so hard to have divine love, this divine connection. So Divine Masculine, you're trying very hard, because I know that they're the Blu-rays. I know you guys are out there now, but you are. You're trying very hard to have a meaningful connection, to have a love, to have a connection with someone that's built on a firm foundation that can be counted on, that can be relied upon, because you've been going through a lot of heart healing. There's been a lot of heartache. You've had to let lovers go, partners go, spouses go. You've had, for most of you, they're saying, you've had them fall apart and you didn't want it to end. But that was all part of the healing and the releasing. And they're saying for some of you, you know, you've even tried to have multiple relationships with other people, but every time you touch something related especially to love, you feel like it blows up in your face, because it almost looks like it's fireworks. So you feel like, okay, every time I try to reach out for love, I try to create a connection with someone, it just blows up in my face. Well, it's because it's not with the right person. They're guiding you to your twin. They're guiding you to your twin. There are things that have to occur because for many of you, you have family changes, home change. Some of you are having to move, they're saying. But you have these changes. They're occurring simultaneously. And for some of you, you're like, okay, I want this divine love. I want this firm foundation, this firm connection. But I just don't feel I can juggle it with everything else, because everything else is just out of control right now. It's because they're preparing. So for those of you that are Blu-rays that are listening to this, you're going to continue to have this intense energy for the rest of the month. Embrace it. Do the things, the steps that you're being guided to do. If you are guided to go see a healer, do that. If you're being guided to listen to a meditation, do that. If you're being guided to have a conversation with your twin or with an ex, to finally, because some of you, you're going to be guided to end things. We'll cover a little bit more of that down here. For the Divine Masculine Blu-rays that are listening to this, some of you have to end finally relationships with exes, ex-spouses, ex-partners. You haven't officially ended that. You've still been kind of letting them linger. You're going to have that conversation with them. You're going to be pushed to do that this month. Some of you are being pushed to have a conversation with your twin. And you're all being pushed to complete these final healing steps, but also these final wrapping things up. Like you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in the midst of this freaking tornado because things are swirling all around you. That is because you have this final month, this final push to get all these loose ends wrapped up and taken care of. Because in July, things are going to change for the two of you. You'll be able to move forward that connection with your twin. Now, as far as feelings toward the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine has Queen of Spring. Brilliant, loyal, talented, friendly. At the bottom it says, believe in yourself. Wonderful people want to help you maintain a balance between work and home life. Now the Queen of Spring, she's just remarkable. She's like a rock star in the community. She's that woman who can take care of house and home. She can put together a marketing plan for business. She can juggle her own business. She can, take 45 kids on a field trip all by herself, and then she can come home and get all glammed up in her finery to go to a formal engagement with her husband in the evening and not skip a beat. Now on the flip side, she can be very competitive, because that can be a drive for her. She can be very independent. She can be a very strong, grounded leader. And if you don't agree with her, if your opinions are different, if you challenge her at all, it will be difficult to get her to change her view, her opinion, her beliefs. And she's sitting in this red dress, like contemplating, what's her next step? What is she going to do with regards to her plans, what she's passionate about, and not waiting long to take those action steps. It's a card that also speaks of balance. Balancing because this life, we always have a lot of things that we're responsible for. You've got work, you've got family, you've got home, and you have a lot going on right now, masculine, and you're feeling kind of overwhelmed with everything that's going on. But it does require putting together a plan, developing a plan, having some strategy, and taking the steps. Because some of you have just been so overwhelmed by this that you've kind of gone into hermit mode and aren't taking any of the steps. Now for those that are Blu-rays, they're saying you have had quite a bit of time in this contemplation, hermit mode, thinking about what you want, what you desire, what your action steps are. You're now at the point that you need to take those action steps. But with regards to how Divine Masculine's feeling toward the Divine Feminine, same thing. There's kind of this wall, and it's because their beliefs are different, their views are different. Now they were saying that some of them are going through the spiritual awakening. That is not aligned with their feelings, their beliefs, their views. And it's funny that we have this full moon coming up that is going to make people review their views and beliefs, that they're going to be challenged, that they are going to have to change those views and beliefs, because they're going to see the truth of some things. They're going to be getting epiphanies this week that are going to force them to not stand so firmly rooted in what they thought. And for some, it's actually beliefs that the masculine had about the feminine. So he was questioning her motives, which is why he pushed away that connection, pushed her away, pushed the relationship away, because he, out of fear, and everything we do is from fear, but out of fear that, okay, she's going to hurt me like someone else has in the past. Her motives aren't honorable. They aren't truthful. They aren't for my best interest. She's, just trying to use me, or doesn't truly, genuinely love me. He pushed that away. And it's put a wedge up between the two. Now, as far as current challenges for Divine Masculine, we do have a major arcana. It's number 10. It's the Wheel. It says at the bottom, delays are over, sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. And this is like spinning Goldilocks hair, gold all around that fairy. And this really does talk about delays being over, really starting to move forward, setting the stage, beginning something that's magical. These hoped for changes actually moving forward and coming to fruition, having good luck, fortune, good things all around you. I mean, there's gold and gold flowers. You got all this twinkling light, that really moving forward into a magical life. Those things that you want, having, because they're saying they can, divine angels, they can get everything lined up for you. They can get everything lined up for this beautiful life that you desire. But at some point, you have to take that step. You have to take that action. You have to keep the momentum going. So for the Divine Masculine, he has this opportunity to bring his dreams to fruition, this connection that he really wants, which is why things are spiraling out of control, because it's ultimately leading to union and the mission that the two of them share together. But his challenge is letting things go. There are still some things that need to be let go of. Accepting this connection, the divine feminine, knowing that her intent is true and pure and from a place of love, and taking some action steps, moving things forward, and being optimistic. Because the Divine Masculine is so worried that something's going to blow up in his face, that this is not going to go right, that maybe he's got this all wrong, that he hasn't moved anything forward. And for the Blu-rays, which I won't keep repeating that. So for ladies that are watching this because you want to know what's going on with your masculine, keep listening. It's only Blu-ray masculine that are listening at this point. So you've been contemplating for a while. You've had, for some of you, you have relationships that have fallen apart. You've had some work changes. For some of you, you have physically moving. That's all this stuff that's going on at once. You want love, you want deep connection. So for most of you, big turmoil for you has been this relationship you thought was going to work out, blew up, didn't go well, that you've had to let go of. So you've been just doing a lot of contemplation, a lot of thinking about your twin, a lot of thinking about the person from the past, a lot of thinking, okay, well, what do I want? How do I get there? But your challenge is now moving forward, taking some action steps, trusting this is going to work out. Fully let the things from the past go. Step into your future with your divine feminine. That's where you're being guided to. And same thing, the feminine, she wants something beautiful, so does the masculine. This is a major arcana. It's the sun, and at the bottom it says plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. So since I have the glare, hopefully that means you guys do not have the glare. And this is all about having great success, dreams coming true. You turn your face up to the sun, it's beautiful, and you open your arms and you embrace all that is coming to you from heaven, the gifts that you're receiving from heaven. Treating yourself with kindness and respect, and the same that you would expect of a partner. And this unicorn represents, purity. He's going through this field of sunflowers, which are all about love and success. And he desires that. Now, interesting thing is, see how he is naked and he has this red robe covering him? There is some truth that the masculine wants to share. He wants to be able to bear himself. He wants to be able to have a true connection that can be counted on. There are things in truth that he wants to reveal to the feminine. He's kind of like busting through this wall. There's been this wall between the two. He wants to break through that wall. He wants to communicate. It's almost like he's blowing on a horn. He wants to communicate his truth. He wants to share those things. And he wants it to be successful, because for some, masculine is afraid that when he shares those truths, the feminine is going to go in the opposite direction. So for some, you know, maybe this person that you thought was an ex-spouse was maybe he was still married to her. But maybe for some there was an alcoholism problem that he didn't want to share, or there's something that he believes that, oh my gosh, it's already bad between the two of us, but man, when she finds this out, it's going to hit the fan. She's not going to have a thing to do with me. She's already not happy with me, but it's going to get even worse. But he wants that honesty. He wants that transparency. He wants that truth. Now, over here, there's poppies, and poppies, they're all about beauty and success, and they're all lined up over here. But the red in poppies signify, you know, the blood that was sacrificed by Christ. And it talks about the fact that our souls are eternal. We never die. We're just renewed and we ascend. And he has this red drape, red robe. Both divine feminine, divine masculine want this relationship to renew. They want it to be a rebirth. They want the death, the ending of the past. The past hurts between the two of them in order to move forward in success. And they will have that. That does hinge on heart healing. And divine feminine, it is primarily the heart healing that you take the lead, because again, you have the exact same core wounds. When you heal that, it heals it for him in all areas. But letting go of those things that have occurred in the past that have pushed the two of you apart, in order to have this rebirth between the two of you, this new beginning, this fresh life, this fresh start that will be successful, it will be something to celebrate. Now, there are two 10s here. You have this 10 and that 10. Two 10s represent a wedding, a new phase in a relationship, going in a new direction. You can also talk about an ending in a relationship. So, for some, the divine masculine has to finally officially end a relationship with someone. For some, he's still in a relationship he has to end, in order for him to come into the new direction with the divine feminine, and to have a new beginning, a fresh start, which will lead to this celebration, this happiness that they both desire. And then there are two 4s. They're both in the same spot. And two 4s are about, you know, looking to move house. It also speaks of financial security. Interesting with the castle. So for some, with your journeys, you are having to physically move. And that's one of the big things that the masculine is dealing with right now, is physically moving. But the other side of it is, you know, home is where the heart is. Divine masculine, many of them have been in relationships with the wrong person. They're trying to get them to move from that home to their true home, to their other half, to their divine feminine. Okay, so last card that we have for the divine masculine is what's recommended for him to do is 4 of Spring, and at the bottom it says, be grateful. You have much to celebrate, deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. And you have this couple, it's like they're in their wedding finery and they've got their castle in the background. And this is all about powerful manifestation, you know, being in a state of gratitude, taking that time to thank God for all the gifts and all the blessings in your life. It's also, you can talk about reasons to celebrate, because the two, they've come together, they're married, they have built this castle, built their home that is behind them. It talks about, you know, celebrations of marriages, children, any parties, heartwarming milestones, but together as a couple, firmly rooted together. And knowing that life is wonderful, life is magical. They're in this field of flowers. And it also speaks of a new home. So for a number of the masculine, it is a matter of letting go of the old partner, so that you can move into your new home, your true home. Move forward with that love of a lifetime that will be firmly rooted on a firm foundation. Now, real quick, let's pull, let's pull some clarifiers on Queen of Spring. Okay, so we have the La Superbia, La Mica, and the Bambino. So, when I stack them, you guys can't see them. Okay, so this is, it's haughtiness, ostentation, arrogance. You know, male peacocks are always brighter, more colorful than the females. Then you have the confidant, a relationship built on trust, friend, someone that you can count on, and then you have the baby, the Bambino. So yeah, so the feelings toward the divine feminine, you were feeling that she wasn't trustworthy, she wasn't what she seemed. So you pushed away this new beginning, and some of you very arrogantly did that. So it's like the feathers are just turned up. I'm going to turn and walk away from you with my feathers up in the air, and you can just stare at my tail end. So for some of you, divine masculine, you very abruptly, some of you very hurtfully, cut off your divine feminine. Now you're realizing that she's the one who can bring you this love that you desire. But it's almost like some of it's like, they're saying it's like you know that she's the one, but you're still in these final stages of, okay, so you guys are the ones that are going to be getting some ahas this week about the truth about things. Because for some of you, you still think that, okay, what if she's, I don't know if I can trust her. I don't know if I can have this new beginning with her. I'm going to walk away proudly and arrogantly. I'm going to go to someone else. Or I'm just going to walk away. Because I don't know if she's going to hurt me. I don't know what her intentions are. I don't know if she's being true. I don't know if this is founded on honesty and integrity. So I'm just going to walk away from that. Oh, no. I don't want anything to do with that. And no beginning with her. And there's something tied to a baby between the two of you. But now you're starting to see the truth. It's just a matter of overcoming that fear. And for some, it is the worries of, okay, how am I going to overcome this hurdle? Okay, let's do a couple real quick on 4 of Spring. Okay, so the first one is the Man of Letters. This is also about discovering things. Then you have the Morte, which is death, abandonment, complete detachment from a situation, completely letting something go, setting it on fire. And then you have luck, a positive, unexpected event. And this is another Wheel of Fortune that she's walking on. Okay, so masculine, the thing that you have to do. You want this love, you want a true connection. They're saying that many of you have set that up with the wrong person. You chose the wrong person. Some of you, it was a karmic partner that you repeatedly kept going back to. For some of you, for years, they say that the wheel kept turning in the wrong direction, is what they're saying. No matter how much they tried to get you to go to the person who would bring you the things that you desire. And it's not something to beat yourself up on, masculine, because it's a journey for all of us. It's a journey for all of us, especially when we're dealing with a lot of things that we We fear that we have to overcome a lot of heart healing. You know, it is not easy to have to go through and heal your heart and release things and deal with things, face on that hurt. So we all like to put it off. But you kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and kept going in the wrong direction with someone that was not meant for you. You are, and some of you have received information, and some of you it was like communications, it was information from a distance, because for some of you it's you don't even live near this person. So this person that you've been dating, or this partner that you keep repeatedly going back to that you thought was the one, they are not, and you have gotten information on that, or you are about to this week finally get even more clarification. You have to end that. You thought it was a fortunate thing, you thought it was a blessed thing, but see how she's dumping that out? Like, you know, you gather your harvest at the end of the year and you fill that cornucopia up with all those things that the rewards that you've received after doing all that hard work on your harvest and planning. She's just dumping it out. So you put a lot of work into a relationship with someone that was not your divine feminine. But you just have to dump that out. You have got to end that with that person. By ending it with that person and moving things forward with your feminine, you are going to get what you desire. You're going to get the happiness. You're going to get the sun. But it does involve ending things with the past. Because a number of you have been stuck not moving forward because you haven't ended things with the person from the past. You have not let them go. You've still been holding on. And for some of you, it's because you have invested tremendously financially with that person. Because, you know, 2 4s are all about financial security, reassuring you of financial security. So for some of you, you're thinking, okay, does she just want me for my money? You know, does she just want me for my money too? I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm just going to turn up my feathers in her face and walk the other direction. Whereas the person that you were investing a lot of money in, for some of you, that person was using you for money. But you're like, man, I've invested so much money with that person. You know, I've spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. But you just have to let it go. You have to dump that out. You have to end that relationship. And for some of you, it is going to take some communications. Now, last, that's funny. It's for the Sun card. The first card that you have is, if I can pick it up, Enamel. Let's see, this is the spiritual, well, and it's just meaning it's nuptials. You can see them exchanging rings, but it's about union, it's about marriage, it's a solid bond, it's an alliance, and it's agreement. It's a very highly spiritual union, very high, very spiritual. It's a divine connection. It's a twin flame connection. You have the young girl, and if it's not a young girl, it's being in love with a woman who's younger. And then you have the gift that's unselfish, the present. And you see you've got all the jewelry falling out of that. But it's the gift. It's the gift that's not selfish. It's given from a genuine place. So for your Sun card, masculine, you know, for some of you, you turn and went the other direction because you questioned her intent. You want the sun, you want the happiness, you want those things. It is going to take trust to finally let things go. And for some of you, it's also going to trust to let things go of some past things between the two of you, because for some of you, you're like, okay, it's not going to be easy to bear my truth, to share these things with her. But you are going to have to do that to get the sun, to get the happiness, to get the things that you desire. But you can trust that, because this is beautiful. This is a divine love. It's blessed by God. You are each other's other half. For many of you, she is younger than you. And twin flames are typically around 10 years difference. So she's probably about 10 years younger than you. But she is a gift. This connection is a gift. Some of you that were used for money in the past, she's not interested in your money. She's interested in your heart. She genuinely does love you. this is a gift. And this is a gift that will bring you all the things that you desire. Okay. Last, we're going to pull an Angel Answer card. Divine Feminine. Think of a question real quick. If there's something that you still need to have answered, I've prayed over these, shuffled these. Romance. That's beautiful. And there's the twin flames with their energies spiraling up together. So let me read that real quick. Okay. Let's see if I can hold it too. Romance. A very important relationship is about to enter or has recently entered your life. This is the romance you have been waiting for. Like all partnerships, there may be ups and downs, but don't let that deter you or shake your confidence. Have faith that love is coming into your life to stay. If your question was about a current relationship, you can expect the parties to become closer to one another. Past disagreements will fade away and trust will grow. All relationships have peaks and valleys. This card indicates an upward movement to a new level of dedication and intimacy. This can include engagement, marriage, or a form of recommitment to one another. It's beautiful, ladies. It's beautiful. Your work is paying off. Hang in there. Okay, Divine Masculine, think of a question. If you have a question that was not answered during this, we're going to pull you one Angel Answer card. Ready? You have forgiveness. Now, hopefully you can see that. Let me find the book. That looks like Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is from Buddhism, and I think she is the goddess of mercy, which makes sense on forgiveness. Looks like her. Okay. Forgiveness can work miracles. When you release the past, a weight is lifted from your shoulders and a sense of freedom washes over you. Ask your angels to help you let go of sadness or pain caused by others so that you can be free. This card can also refer to a need for self-forgiveness. It's time to let go of any guilt you are holding on to regarding past mistakes you have made. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if results weren't what you would have liked. Focus on the changes you've made since then that have made you a better person. That's beautiful too, Masculine. It's okay to bury yourself, because you're amazing and she knows that. And for some of you, just need to remember that. So hopefully this helped all of you. I know it's a long one, but it's because we've got some big things going on right now. So I do hope that this helps you with your journey. I do hope that it helps you navigate, because it's going to be intense for everyone, whether you're Blu-rays or not. All twins are going to have an intense month. But remember, when you're going through these intense times, that it's a good thing. Because when it's intense, the nice thing about being a twin is, I was saying, like, my clients, I typically only need to do 3 to 4 sessions with them. That is because you have this entire team, this divine support, that they're just taking care of the healing for you. So you may just want to cry. You may want to stay in bed. You just feel your energy swing. That's because they're taking care of things for you. They're healing and releasing things for you. It's like autopilot. But you have to allow yourself to be in a space to let those things release when those times happen. So when you go, and you've been going through very intense times, it's been really intense for everybody since September. It's not going to be letting up anytime soon. But this is one of the intense months. But when you're going through the intense months, don't get discouraged. Be grateful. Come from a place of gratitude that, okay, God, angel, I'm glad that you are working on me and healing me. If you could help me get past these tears or help with my physical sensations and pains, that would be great. But know that when you're going through it, it's a spiritual thing. And the more that you can just go with it and not fight it, because sometimes we're suddenly emotional and we've got aches and pains, because when you're releasing things, you'll have aches and pains as you have and throughout different areas of your body. It can't be explained with the mind. It's because your soul's releasing stuff, but it manifests in your body. But if you can go with it gracefully and just know that it's simply coming up because things are being healed and released, you will find that it will go quicker and it will be a little bit easier for you. So I do hope that this helps you all to go through this month, so that you can go through it a little more gracefully. You know what's ahead. you can use these energies, use this time to really get things moving forward for you, because you are all here to do great things. Again, you and your masculine, both of you. You're here to do great things. You are here to come into an unconditional storybook love of a lifetime. But bottom line, it's so that the two of you, Emperor and Empress, will come together and be a power couple, spreading love, helping humanity. So this month is going to prepare you for that. So I do wish you all the very best. I do hope that this month, this time of change and transition is filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings for you. Until next time.